Sunday night. Sorry, no, it's Monday night. Oh, the whole stream's ruined.
Start over.
Start fresh. It's Monday night, and I hope you're ready for some good Dungeons and Dragons. It is session 7. We're already to session 7 of the Unbeaten Path. I hope you're ready for some good Dungeons and Dragons tonight. As you know, it's Monday nights. We do this on Mondays. It is a perfect night to do it. In the sky, there's not a moon. There's a D20. And around you are not people. They're minifigures. You've already got your theater of the mind ready. And so why not join us in our theater of mind for the Unbeaten Path campaign? I've got the Poo2 crew here, and I've got our DM and designer of this dungeon, PS Zombie, with us tonight. PS Zombie, how fare you thee?
IRL been better. In game, I'm doing just fine. That's why we do this, baby.
That's right. Take your mind off life. All right. Well, I will kick it over to you, sir, and then we can get rolling.
All right. Well, you're gonna throw out words like "good campaign." That's a lot of pressure to live up to.
We just want a good, mediocre campaign here.
That I can deliver on.
We do average.
I'll say this: it'll be fresh. It'll be new to you. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Unexperienced.
That's like, did you see the Richard Iowati where he's like, it's an event. It happened.
Yeah.
Anyways, we are session 7 apparently. That's amazing. We join our heroes. So in last session, what did we do? We fought some giant rats.
That
were not wolves, though they
indeed
at first glance perhaps appeared to be. And we saw our device in action that Alibaba received from the shady merchant, which seems to collect some sort of life essence or whatever from creatures on the path. Collects it in a little lava lamp type file or flask. We got through the door as advertised, using the drawn blood that we received from the other party. We battled an air and elemental indeed, and though a truly terrifying creature, it was very handily defeated. I was very impressed as a DM. But upon defeating the air elemental, we did not see a door as usual, but instead the desert area they were in seemed to stretch on. And as they continued towards a distant pyramid, being their only guiding factor right now, they came upon a sandy beach with some unexpected water there as their desert transfers to a coastline, and the wreckage of ships upon its shore. And I believe that's right about where we were at.
May I ask a question? There is a little man in the top left of the
I think that's just part of the art. It's not part of my campaign.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you just get background art, and then I'm guessing that's some sort of signature or something. Oh, it's gone now. Somebody's drawing this. I have a guess.
Yeah. Little man running around.
Who's the artist among us? Yes, it's very cute.
The same one with a foghorn, probably.
Yeah. The sort of half air horn is very sad.
All right, so
do we want to do intros?
We did do a short rest.
We couldn't get to a long rest because the world is collapsing.
Yes.
How topical.
Yeah, we can go through intros. I think we usually start with battle armor.
I believe we normally do. My name is Battle Armor. I am playing a character whose name is Karos Fester. I'm a armor artificer, mechanically high elf, ethnically an Avarial. I currently through the tutelage of some of the Smiling Man's friends, have access to a couple of different cleric channel divinity abilities. So if you hear me use one of those, don't wig out. It's a thing that I can do. Yeah, that's me.
I'm wigging out.
Please do not.
He's wigging.
I've specifically requested that you do not. So
So I cannot.
All right, Amoobus.
My name is Amubus Calfin. I am a Grave Domain cleric. My race is Minotaur, and I'm currently tipping my toes in a little paladin magic. So if you hear me say something paladin-like, don't worry about it. It's part of the game. And that's me.
And I am a climate changer playing Alibaba. He is a magic user that is ethnically a tiefling. And he has some homebrew mechanics thrown in there as well, just like everybody else. And yeah, trying to think. He was an orphan.
oh, I never
Alibaba fact. Random fact.
Are we doing that now?
I
Just
guess
random
so.
character.
We need to
fact?
do one
Well,
random fact.
we saw that in his flashback, I believe.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. You're in the orphanage. That's right.
This is previously revealed. On
Yeah, just for the viewers, this is kind of an attempted simulated roguelike campaign with an ever-changing world and the potential for unique boons, such as abilities from other classes. That's the goal, anyways. And I think it's going okay so far. Not too bad.
Digging it?
like magic on.
Yeah, what's the official Wizards of the Coast term? Is it background or origin? What's the not background
For what?
for races? There's a new term they used, I believe, in Tasha.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh. Yeah, I think you're right.
I believe they're trying to switch over to that term, and with the more flexible like stat choices and whatnot.
Well,
It's not relevant. We'll get to that in the future. So yes, as I said, you all find yourself where you were once in a desert. You now feel a cool sea breeze. You can look to the left and the right of you and see a beach that seems to extend on forever, much like beaches you go to in real life. And shipwreck around you. But I'll leave it to you what y'all would like to do.
Do you like walks on the beach?
Amubus turns and almost.
Both a mountains person myself.
Amubus is going to turn and almost in an out-of-body experience just looks and says, "Arr, yes I do, arr," and then be like, "Whoa, what was that?" It was almost like another campaign D&D character was trying to reach out through me since we were near the sea.
Great.
What was
Way to
that?
spoil that surprise. Now I'm gonna have to rewrite y'all's next boon.
No! Sorry, guys. Ruined that one for us.
There's a pirate in everyone. That's the moral of the story.
Just in time for Talk Like a Pirate Day. I don't actually know.
I like how we reference past campaigns, and at any given moment, one of us has no idea what the others are talking about.
Very true.
We've never all done a campaign together, I don't think. Or at least not when we were all players.
As
Yeah.
does the rest of Twitch. The rest of Twitch has
The
no
rest of
idea.
Twitch is like, what are you doing? This is not good content at all.
Oh, yes. It's all
Well, they
discontinued.
were really good campaigns.
Yeah,
You all
Yes.
missed out.
That's true.
So don't.
Well, we didn't stream them, so that's part of the problem.
They're in the vault.
Maybe ask next time for us to stream them. Okay? Maybe it was your fault.
There you go.
Yeah.
Me?
Twitch. No,
It's
Twitch.
the viewer. It's the
Yeah.
viewer's fault. If they had requested it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not our job to deliver you content. Come to our house and watch our campaigns.
Yes.
Yeah, plebs.
Let's continue to badger our viewers. I like it.
Antagonize them.
all the top streamers I've seen are super rude to their chat. So
We're just trying to get subs, and you got to yell at them for that.
That's true.
Hmm.
Yes.
We're on the
So,
beach. There's a boat.
as the only man-made looking structure around here, is the map fairly accurate? Is there a treasure chest in front of me?
there certainly can be.
I'm just gonna have a little poke around in the things that are immediately right next to me, like the shipwreck and any rowboats and any chests or anything like that, to see if there's maybe some Narnia-esque opening in one of them.
Let's go ahead and do an investigation check.
All
Which,
right.
as a smart boy, I assume you're decent at.
I am reasonable at those. I hadn't pulled up my character sheet. There we go.
First roll of the night.
Oof.
Let's hope it gets better from here.
That's 2 on the die.
Get it out of the
So-
way early.
With a moderate roll like that, I'll say yes, there is a chest in front of you. I assume your intent is to open it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty weather worn from the sea kind of coming in and out, and the sun beating down on it. It practically disintegrates when you try to open it. Inside are looks like probably once was copper coins. They're very thin, rusted out. Many of them are crumbling, or even have holes in them. But it's a fair amount of coin. But all of it copper, nothing of particular value.
We also have been told we cannot spend it here, so not terribly useful.
So that's how we'll play that role. Is that you you give the ship a once over, give it a walk around, but you didn't notice anything of note. Just a rotted out shipwreck.
Is this small boat seaworthy?
No, it's also rotted out and sun baked. Seems like all the wood around here is pretty low quality at this point. The sea's certainly done its job wearing stuff down.
My friends, I think
I'll say it's almost more like something you would expect to see at the bottom of the ocean rather than up on shore. Like, it's in very bad shape.
My friends, I don't think we can go along the edge of the beach because isn't it disappearing into mist in the distance?
Yes, from what we know, I don't think all of the side. I don't think it collapses inward at the same rate.
You can go ahead and do a perception check to see if you can tell.
Okay. Perceive. Nothing.
What happened to being done with the bad rolls? So it can go as far as your eyes can see. You can't infer much from that, but from what you can see, there's beach.
Is there
Plenty of beach?
Maybe the water's not a good idea. Maybe we just go along the beach. I mean, as far as I can tell, it just keeps going forever.
Could you?
What was that, Putu?
Well, I wanted to do 2 things. One, I wanted to turn to Alibaba and kind of gesture to the water and be like, "Could you do some sort of message in a vial?" And he kind of gives him an eye, and like points the water, and then kind of gestures to his vial and points the water.
I could, but I don't think anyone could come with me.
Yes, I suppose it's not a good idea to get separated then. And then the other thing I was going to ask is, could I investigate that pirate ship or that ship?
Yeah, sure. you can go ahead and do an investigation check.
Okay, I wander over.
Or do you want to look at it? Do you want to like get up inside it? What's your goals
I
with
kind of
investigating this thing?
I just kind of want to go in and look. I want to get up inside it and see if there's anything that we can use.
You don't, or you do?
I do. I want to see what we can.
You do. You're going inside it. Terrific. Do an investigation check.
Wow.
Disastrous. It's very dark inside. And as Mr. No Dark Vision over here can't see a ding dong thing. No, it looks like just a massive rotting wood to you. You don't notice anything of interest to you.
Since he has moved in and not been.
I'll say one thing, just because y'all have been all looking a little bit. Sorry to interrupt you. You notice no remains of anything living. If that's relevant.
That is relevant.
Since he's properly poked his head in, I'm gonna poke my head in too. I was mildly worried about being attacked, but since he's seemed to
even a 7 will tell you that you have not been actively attacked.
You're not blinded during a 7. So yeah, I'm gonna walk inside the ship.
Yeah.
If it
go ahead and do
structurally
another investigation check if you care to. What was that, Alibaba?
Alibaba is going to create his own entry by casting acid splash on the side of the
structural integrity.
All right.
I'm also going to guide myself.
Cool.
14.
All right. So you can tell this was a fairly good-sized ship. That there was definitely some care taken in its design. You know, as a constructor of things, you can appreciate like the fit of the wood and stuff. A lot of those nice wedgy joints that don't require glue that all the fancy videos use.
I wish I remembered the name of those. One of my favorite podcasters got into woodworking over the pandemic, and
yeah,
I
exactly.
feel like I should know this.
Yeah,
maybe.
Bow tie joint. Okay, anyway.
Where they like interlock like fingers, and you just sort of like the friction of it.
That's called a finger joint.
Finger joint. Wow, that is okay. I invented woodworking right there.
Showing off his knowledge.
Whoops.
You'll notice that it's mostly the top part of the ship. The bottom of it seems to be missing. It's definitely torn and splintered in the parts you can see. And all in all, you'd estimate you have maybe a quarter of the total ship here on shore. And then, as you acid splash the side, Alibaba, you can go ahead and roll damage for that. What were you saying, Chris?
I was going to say, is it possible that the tide will recede by quite a bit as time goes on and perhaps reveal the door? It seems like this ship is it still wet?
No, this part's dry, and you can definitely infer that the fact that this stuff has not fully washed away, you're near the highest point of tide. So your acid splash hits the side of the ship. Now, the outside of the ship is made to take a beating. It has a special coating. It's the harder wood. But your acid still does eat through it. Kills you on the inside.
Dexterity save.
No, it doesn't make it all the way through. The wood does, consume the acid's acidiness, whatever the term for that is. but the guys inside, you're kind of in this dark ship hull, and then you see like small little beams of light start to appear, and then by the end of it, it's probably a good 1 foot in diameter hole in the side of the ship there.
Mm. I would most likely step outside at that, just worried again for the structural integrity.
Well, as you go around the side, you just see Alibaba with his head sticking through the hole.
Just have a
Yeah, and
moment.
conveniently, as Karos leans out, the face of your helmet has like a very mildly disappointed look to it. That was definitely intentional. I mean, I imagine it's meant to be somewhat intimidating or regal,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yes, I believe an aloofness is
Yeah.
intended. Well, all of Ariel are somewhat aloof and somewhat aloft.
I was kind of picturing like those old Roman masks that had like the faces
Yeah.
almost, but like not quite so facey.
So
Yeah.
he pulls his head back out. The wood is on the outside is pretty sturdy. Maybe we can build something build a raft out of it or something.
Yes, there's always the chance to build something. I have the ability to make things out of metal. I could use those coins to craft whatever we wanted to. I'm not very familiar with wood, however.
Can you build the nails?
Yes, I could make as many copper nails as we wanted to, I think.
Yeah, I think are you talking about the channel divinity?
Yeah.
I think if you look at the wording, as long as it includes metal, you can make things that include other materials. I think it says like metal and blah 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 or something like that. I'm not sure the exact wording, but I think it can be used to make things other than metal.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should draw out the diagram in the sand. Let me give it a try here. So there's maybe
That
it's
must
like
include
this.
some metal. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. just have the bands that go on ships to give them a little bit of extra structural stability. I think our goal is obviously to look for the door. We did want to take a rest afterwards, but I'm fairly certain that the world is degrading too fast for us to actually get to that. I am curious what'll happen when the sides of the world come to a point where the water should just flow off. I would think. I don't quite know. Maybe there's some magical means by which the water is contained until it falls off.
That is an interesting idea.
It's beyond me. Since we're not talking about the material plane, our own reality, I don't understand any of it. Don't understand this world. Amubis
Well,
looks
It is
off.
still amazing.
Amubis looks off towards the pyramid. Is it past the water?
Yeah, go ahead and roll perception. I'll say as you do this, your god is one of mazes, and paths even. So you always have a sense of direction to you that you ought to be intentionally moving. Whether you do or not is kind of up to you, but you always have this desire to do so. And as you look to the pyramid, you feel a pull to go there. And you can see the peak of the pyramid. It's peaking above the horizon. So whether it's in the water or beyond the water, you cannot tell. But you can see its peak over the horizon, and the horizon is solid water in that direction as far as you can see.
I think we are being pulled towards the pyramid. and I point off in that direction. So we probably need to figure out a way to get seaworthy, and I look around.
I'm gonna go ahead and start to lay out a the beginnings of a raft or a boat of sorts to see if I can figure something out as far as that's concerned. Actually, first I'm going to approach the water and just give it a little bit of a test to make sure that it's not gonna like Moses for me or anything.
Okay. Yeah, so you're gonna like go kind of stick your feet in.
Yeah, my armor is fairly rust proof and everything. It's not like all
As much as any other clothes are. It's certainly not
magic. Yeah,
certainly not any risk to you there.
yeah.
Provided it's normal water. No.
I'm gonna check out the water.
Yeah.
That is what I will do.
So you head to the water. Being from a sky city, you didn't necessarily interact with seas that often. They were kind of a moot point, like land, sea. When you're above it, it's kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But you have lived on the surface, and I'm guessing you've probably seen the ocean before.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, depending. I guess that's up to you whether your characters interacted
I've
with
seen
an
large
ocean
bodies
before.
of water for certain.
Sure.
And I'm at least aware that this is not the ocean. It's a construct.
Well, it certainly does behave like an ocean would. The waves kind of lap at your feet. The sand is wet and does that thing where you step on it and it changes color because like some of the water is pressed out of it. If you want to examine the water more closely, you can do that.
I will scoop some up in my hands and whatnot.
Why don't you do a nature check to see the nature of said water?
The nature of the water. We have been rolling like garbage.
Terrible.
Yeah, one of these days you'll get a decent roll. I mean, I do have that script on that gives you all bad rolls so I can win, but I didn't think it was going to be this extreme. For the viewers out there, I'm kidding.
All D20s are locked to a D6 roll.
I mean, it could be at this point.
Honestly, legitimately, there's no evidence that isn't currently.
That's funny. Yeah, so it seems like any water you've seen. I will say that when you scoop it up in your hands and like it settles for a moment, it's extremely clear, much more so than you would expect from an ocean.
Yeah. I'm aware that there are particulates in the ocean, like bacteria and plankton and such, that make it pretty murky. And
yeah, as there is in any body of water.
Yeah.
Alibaba just takes off and runs at the water and jumps into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the beach.
So you dive in, you hit the water. Your speed obviously is halved because you don't have a specific swim speed. But it's cool, it's refreshing. It feels like water.
What does it taste like? Have you got any in your mouth? Just see if it's salty.
Yeah. Do I need to
As
make
you
a
taste it, you don't have to check for that. It is indeed salty. It tastes of ocean.
Roll for saltiness.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do a perception check though while you're in there.
Oh, okay. I was rolling.
I'll take
for
that.
saltiness.
What's your wisdom?
So salty.
What's your wisdom on, or your perception on?
Wisdom is +1.
So it would be 18. Yeah, you notice that the water is completely devoid of life. There is sand and there is water, and that appears to be all there is to this ocean.
It looks like this is a dead sea. There's
Yeah,
nothing in it.
you might say that. So yeah, you're wet, but no worse for the wear.
Hmm.
I imagine at this point you've stripped down a bit now that your AC is not dependent on armor anymore.
Yeah. And I think he's gonna just go out there a little deeper. Just
While
like
he's doing that, I'm actually going to cast the spell Detect Magic as a ritual.
Cool. So Alibaba, go ahead and do a athletics check while you're swimming. And
oh wow.
nice, dude.
Wow.
You're swimming strongly. Yeah.
I am a fish.
You can feel the pull of the tide. It does feel like it's going out. But you're able to easily swim against it. You're body surfing on waves. You're diving. You're having a great time in the water there. So as you cast your detect magic, I will say you see no unusual magic. Obviously, you and your compatriots have a few magical things amongst you, but there's nothing out of the norm. There's nothing. You're not getting anything from the shipwreck, nor from the water, nor from the sand.
Okay. I was also curious if the path gave off any sort of background magical radiation. Interesting to note.
Yes, no, it does not seem like the things on the path are magical per se by default.
Indeed. Okay. I will have that up for 10 minutes. So if anything
No worries.
magical comes around, I will notice it.
I think Alibaba's gonna go back up to the shore after having a good time and just cast Find Familiar for a while. He's gonna do that ritual.
Nice. Are we we're going with the same form?
Is it even still Newt?
I mean, we'll still call it Newt, even if it is a different animal. I mean, it could potentially be something else you might want.
I
here.
can't summon a bird, so it's gonna.
You can summon a bird? Yeah, you can.
You can summon several birds. Owls, ravens.
Seagull.
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 I would probably reflavor a raven, but yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a raven, a red. No, it's gonna be a red-winged blackbird.
Red-winged blackbird.
Red-winged blackbird. But that takes like 10 minutes. So.
All right. So you're sitting down and doing your ritual casting. Anybody?
I'll go ahead and start on that boat again. Now that I've convinced myself that it's most likely going to be necessary.
Do you want to use something, or presumably you're using materials around you, but do you want to use something specific as a base?
I am going to use the rowboat, assuming that is there, as a base, and I'm going to incorporate the copper that we found in the chest, and I'm going to use that as like supportive banding, and sort of magically shape it to give it a bit more support on the inside. And I think I can incorporate other materials as well, and so I will just take whatever planks of wood I need off of the main ship.
Yeah, sweet. So Um,
Use of channel divinity.
Yeah, I don't think any of that would require a check. There you go.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, he's cute and fat.
Yes, I made him as fat as I possibly could.
Well,
Actually, let me. I gotta make him controllable by you. 1 sec.
Hey, Moot. Might want to work a little bit of that off. Can you go up and tell me what you see? So I'm gonna warg into his eyes, I guess, and see if I
Sorry.
can send him up, and he can go 60 feet up and just see if he can see if any unusual objects around us, or if the sides are caving in, into mist, or anything out in the water. You want me to make a perception?
Yes, please. Do you use your stats or the bird stats when you do that?
I would use the bird.
DM's choice.
Yeah.
Because I believe he is looking through their eyes, but also it's through their eyes, so you can have whatever enhanced senses they have, but also they're still a human looking.
It does not have explicit enhanced senses. It has perception +3, so I'll leave it up to you if you want to do it or if you want to have the bird do it.
I'd rather the bird did it because that's better than mine.
Yeah, go ahead. I think you have control of him now. You should. Old Newt. Let's see. I want to see what the restrictions of this thing are.
Well, I can't roll using the token or anything, but I will just roll a d20. And then add 3 to that.
Dude, that's fantastic.
Nice.
Oh, you can access the character sheet? How do I always screw that up?
You have to make it visible in my journal or something like that.
Can be edited and controlled by... Oh, and put it in your journal. I think I have to do both of those things.
I can become fire. That is something interesting that I can do.
How's that?
It's just I don't know. I think it's just, since it's a controllable token by me, I can switch my.
Oh yeah. I just gave you that for your create bonfire. Yeah. That is that better, Alibaba? Can you do it?
Yeah,
now?
I can see it. That's great.
Okay, so, but yeah, we'll keep that 22. Terrific. So yeah, I don't. Your channel divinity, the gold value to me is nonsensical, anyways. So we're not going to take that into account.
It's not like we're going to
kind of a ridiculous
and sell it.
I think it's just a mechanic when it comes to like gear. Yeah. I think that's why they put that restriction in there. Yeah, this is a 1 hour ritual, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So using bits from the ship.
Unless somebody gives me a compelling reason to stop, I'm going to be doing that for a bit.
Yes, well. And we'll say that you did that concurrent also with him finding familiar, so there was some overlap there. So I'll just do Kurosa's first real quick. So as you're doing this, you channel divinity, and the rowboat's kind of your like most basic base, so that's the central. You place the coins inside of it. First thing you see is the coins melt into a liquid metal, and it starts to kind of line the bits of wood, and the metal becomes the force. Like, think like the nanobots from Big Hero 6. They start moving the bits of wood and pulling them together as it needs it. And so it begins assembling a ship, and this boat's exceeded your expectations. It's quite a bit larger than you assumed it would be. It seems to be using pretty much all the ship that you've got here. And while you're doing this, your holy symbol is glowing a bright blue color. It's also not a passive experience for you, though it's not your own hands building something, which you're not quite used to. you do feel a sense of control over what's happening, and especially design wise, it definitely fits the aesthetic of your armor, as you are the architect, just in a more imaginative way than an academic way, which you're used to. And as Newt flies up as high as he can, and you see through his eyes, you peer out over the water. Well, first off, he kind of does the 360. So behind you, you can see a certain amount of beach, like that hill that y'all came down, and then like a few yards beyond that, a drop off into a void. So it's almost like an ocean of nothingness behind you, with the ocean of water in front of you. But you can see that it is not receding any further. Currently, everything is static. And then as he turns out over the ocean, you can see a massive ocean. Even with the higher vantage point of Newt, you still cannot see beyond this horizon of water, with the only landmark being the peak of that pyramid.
Okay.
But I will say, thanks to your terrific perception through Newt, you do see, one sec, silhouetted against the bright white peak of the pyramid, you can see the mast of a far-off ship.
Hmm.
There be a ship on the horizon.
Oh, it's spreading.
Excuse me. I mean, I don't know what happened. I can see through the eyes of the bird some sort of ship, and it seems that the mist has halted behind us. It seems to have stopped for now.
Oh, interesting. You know how that smiling man said that the path wanted us to continue onward. Perhaps it only destroys the world if we dally. I think the path might be using that not as a form of reclaiming itself, but maybe to sort of force us onward, force us to keep walking. It's interesting that if it's stopped. Just a theory.
Anubis, does this sound like your maze god would do this kind of thing?
No, typically he would give Newt an olive branch to retrieve to say that the land was dry.
I see.
I've been trying to figure out how to insert that for like the past 5 minutes.
It has been on your mind.
Softball that one up for you.
Yeah.
Anubis was just sitting down, like his head in his hands, just like trying to think of that joke.
How do I work it in? Perhaps the path knows when we've encountered difficult terrain. And I kind of stomp on the sand and near the water and say, it's clear we may have some issues getting out to the pyramid. Perhaps we're getting more accommodations to more time to make that happen.
Yes, I think that's quite sensible, both as a theory and of the ship. I mean, of the path to do for us.
So, how are we getting out there then? You all seem to have better abilities equipped for this. I have to admit, and he kind of looks around, I'm a little out of my element here.
Little out of your depth, would you say?
Yes.
You can't possibly fathom how you do this alone.
No. I'm leagues out of the ring here.
Let's dip our toe in here. I think you could.
One might say you're drowning.
You
Yes.
we could use your superior strength, Amubus, to propel us forward in this boat. I think.
Yes, I'm nearly finished with my little dinghy here, and I think we should be able to make it out to that ship that Alibaba saw. I feel like that's probably our best bet here.
Assuming they're not.
Yeah, I'll say.
hostiles.
Um, you. I'll say that you find it difficult to form cloth, but easy enough to form oars. So,
Hmm.
after some kind of struggling with the design, you decide to just settle on that as your solution. You'd obviously prefer a sail, but
My friends,
that
look.
particular aspect
Can't
seems
rely on
beyond
wind
you.
either. I'm gonna when it's finishing, I'm going to the little like bands that you put the oars into to like keep them in place. I'm gonna give them like I'm gonna have the copper like when it's finished its job, coalesce into two wings with holes in them. So it's got like a little wing motif for the oar holes. Man, I wish any more ship terms. Oar holes? I doubt it's oar holes.
Well,
Style points there.
this is more of a boat anyway, so I think terminology is somewhat forgiven.
Alibaba.
You know what's funny? You know what the
Yes.
actual nautical term is?
What's that?
It's oar hole.
Heh.
It's literally called an oar hole.
Winning.
right?
You're a boat expert
Boat
that you
expert,
didn't even know
woodworking
it.
expert.
I know
Yeah.
everything today.
That's
The world is
that-
reforming
Our
around itself.
characters
To make
just
you
said the words you say are real from now on. They're just like
It's like he knows what he's talking about, guys.
Moobus giggles. Then he says poop deck, and he giggles some more.
I'll say, in addition to the winged oar holes, you also have a
rowlock is also
thing that goes in the front of the ship that's sometimes a lady.
figurehead.
A figurehead, but it's a bird.
Nice.
Alibaba.
It's a bird.
Alibaba, did Newt determine if that ship in the distance was hostile, or could he tell who was aboard it?
let me see. I think we could.
So it was pretty far away. So as hostility crew, you couldn't really tell anything like that. I will say that you could tell that it had proportionally large masts, so it was probably a long distance, large seafaring ship. It's probably about all you can tell from this extreme distance.
Might be able to see when we get closer.
But no Jolly Roger, or no Union Jack. We don't know.
Did Karos or Battle Armor, does your background infer any insight on stuff?
It is this, I believe, is my background.
Structures and buildings, blueprints.
I'd like to reiterate that my background is probably would know if it was what a Jolly Roger was. You know what I mean?
What's your background?
Nice try.
Understanding. Mhm. Where is that? I'm trying to link it.
It was smuggler, was it not?
Yeah, it's smuggler.
Smuggler. Yeah, no, that feels appropriate then. You'd have a better idea than me.
Alibaba, should we run into any trouble, or let's say if that ship is hostile and we are taken captive, do you think you could sneak into your compartment your vial and let us free. I'm just concerned that we may be taken at high sea, and if that is the case, it might be helpful if they don't know our numbers.
I
We
could,
haven't
yes,
determined if
for sure do that.
we haven't determined the level of intelligence the path is able to generate. Everybody we've met, who we've talked to, has entered into the path of their own volition from the outside world. I'm not convinced that the path has the ability to generate creatures with their own sense of like sentient creatures. I'm not entirely certain.
I
I would
encountered
happy to
a
be proven wrong.
I encountered a winged woman that may disagree to that point.
No, she knew me. She was from the outside.
And we don't know who all's here from the outside. I'm just saying
Right.
we don't need
We've
to.
never met anyone who hasn't been from the outside, is all I'm saying. We've
Why
met
don't
rats,
we just
and scorpions,
use
and
that
wolves.
piece of cloth fluttering in the wind on the mast over there? Why don't we take that and cover the boat and paint it blue or something so we just look like camouflage?
Oh, I thought you were going to say fly the white flag to let them know that we don't mean any harm.
That's a good idea too. I mean,
I could most likely do either. I'm sure it's fairly easy to just grab.
Yeah, I'll say like small bits of cloth. You would have that on you. That's not difficult to.
Just because
It's not a leap to say that you would have that.
I haven't gotten a chance to do so yet. I'm gonna shimmy up the mast, grab the piece of cloth, and jump down using my wings as feather fall to guide my descent. I just sort of superhero landing with them, just sort of a big wing
Nice.
flap as I land.
Yeah, I'll say they work very nearly exactly like the paraglider from Breath of the Wild. Like you can just kind of trigger floating whenever you feel like it.
Very good.
So you can glide over, and yeah, that wee bit of cloth. You have, yeah, I'll say it doesn't have any marking. It's just a white bit of cloth. What was once the mast or the sail, sorry. But I would say all that's left of it is maybe like a 2 meter square, something like that.
Yeah.
So
We
it's a fair size thing, but it's not.
Yeah, we'll just keep it in the bottom of the boat for in case we need to wave a flag of, peace.
An oracle
I think
flag.
we're fairly well suited to get out on the water. Any pressing matters ashore?
I'm good to go.
I think I'm good as well.
All right.
Shove on.
Well, yeah, I'll say that between the three of you, as part of the building process, they were kind of like those slats that they send ships from, and get a little bit of a running start and shove her in the water. The tide running out does kind of aid you a little bit. That's probably completely wrong in actual nautical thing, but it does help pull you out to sea in this particular campaign. So I'll say that 2 of you will be on oars, and 1 of you will be kind of a spotter and maneuvering the rudder. So y'all can choose who all wants to do that.
Well, I have an 11 strength.
And as we do that, let's go to the
weaker.
new map
Ship
What?
map.
of a cute little ship.
It's a boat.
Ignore the ballista. There is no ballista.
A
There's just
shame.
a limited number of ship.
I
If
didn't
one of
think
y'all
to
has
make-
like a light crossbow or something, you can have that in the front.
I don't think I do. I actually might as an artificer.
This is quite a ship you have made.
Yes,
Thank
very
Excellent.
you.
impressive.
I think God made it. I did help. I do have a light crossbow.
Nice. All right. So, as part of the building crossbow, as a building process, you mounted a light crossbow on the front.
I just put it right on the front.
Yeah.
It's got a little swivel mechanism that
I'll even say it's now ship-sized. It aims. It's mounted, so you have to point the ship to point it, but it now does 2d8 damage.
wow.
Hmm,
Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
very
Big
cool.
power.
Huge power. Big peck.
Yeah. So who's doing what here?
Just want to do a quick brief
It will not be a difficult athletics check, but it will be athletics to row, and it will be survival to navigate. If
I
that
will
changes
row.
y'all's mind.
I do have proficiency in athletics, even though my
Sweet.
athletics is not fantastic. I also have incredible con, so if that ever comes into play, I will be very enduring in my rowing ability.
Just want to give a quick shout out to the Twitch chat. Jasmine has been hitting us up with some funny comments. If you guys haven't seen it,
Oh, sweet.
my favorite is "Holy Ship," which was just what she put in with the ship transition.
Nice.
So thank you, Jasmine.
Or-
Keep it up. I liking this chat. Keep it rolling. It's good energy. I'm going to suggest Alibaba. I think Amubis suggests Alibaba as the navigator since Newt kind of flew the path and he saw the path. But I don't have good strength, so I don't think Amubis would.
Moop and I will
Like I
do
say, it's not going to be it's not going to be a dreadfully miserable experience. It's more you just need a body. Anyone can row. Your grandma can row.
So Alibaba kind of sits down Indian style and wargs up through the crow that's just kind of flying overhead.
Yeah, I'll say it would be too taxing for it to follow along flying, but you can certainly use its stats and have it sit either on your horns or on the front of the ship or somewhere it can see, and you can send it up every once in a while, but it's not going to be able to like fly alongside you for the whole trip. It's going to need to.
Well, I'm going to put the
kind of-
bird on the bird at the
Sounds
front.
good. It'll go right on the front there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the bird on the front of the ship is sort of a more majestic stork type bird, while yours is a very fat little red-winged blackbird. But you can tell by the proud look on his face, he thinks he's just exactly the same as that bird. So we'll just
he
get
is,
him
and I
right
love
here. I have never done anything wrong in my life ever. I know that, and I love you for it. Okay, so Amubis and Kuros, go ahead and do athletics checks, and using your stats or the birds, go ahead and do a survival check. Alibaba, I assume you're heading towards the ship. That was the plan, yes?
The only thing I can think to do, I'm going to guide myself as well.
So,
Ooh.
dude, nice survival check.
I feel so free on the ocean.
I need to get back in.
It's as if I feel so wild.
You need to do what now?
Roll20's
Yeah.
messed up my sheet, so I'm logging back in real quick. Sorry. You're
Gotcha.
You're welcome to click my sheet for me, but I'm trying to get it to reload right now.
I had you to the map there.
Yeah, a little like caution symbol popped up next to your name.
I'll roll a d20 for you, and then we can just add whatever.
Nice.
What's your athletics?
I know my strength score is 13.
I can check.
Okay, so probably a
Yeah, +1.
Either a 15 or a 17.
It's a
All right, so you got 15, you got 19.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great progress. And you guys you find a good rhythm. You keep in sync.
bye.
Amubis, it's actually to your favor that you got a slightly lower score than Kuros because Kuros's body is smaller than yours. So you find yourself having to do slightly smaller rows so that you can stay in sync and stay heading forwards.
Yes.
You end up making a very efficient team. And Alibaba, as you
Now you're cutting out, Tris.
I'm cutting out.
You went all roboty for a second, or maybe I did.
Oh.
Did I?
I didn't notice.
I don't know. I can't hear myself.
Oh, maybe I had an issue then.
Oh, okay. It seems fixed now, though.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I'm gonna quickly relog from Discord, but
Um,
here we go. Should be fine.
yeah. So Alibaba, you keep on course very efficiently. You all chose good roles and you perform them well. I'll say because everyone did so well. Up ahead, you can start to see the ship better. It's to the point where you can, all of you see the mast even without being 60 foot high and a bird. And it seems like the ship may have noticed you as well because it has turned and is headed your way.
There's still no evidence that there are people on that ship. Maybe the ship itself, like a sentient ship. Well, a non-sentient, instinctual ship. My theory stands.
Like a ship star.
I still think we should cover our booty.
Let I can fly the flag.
Yes, perhaps as we're rowing, just sort of generally wave the flag around.
Yeah, I'd say if you have to estimate, just based on the speed you've seen yourself travel, and the first few minutes of seeing the ship, you'd guess it was maybe about 2 hours before y'all would meet up. So you've got a bit of time, and if you want to switch out roles during that time, or take a break rowing. I mean, now it's a big giant ship heading towards you, so
it'll get to us eventually.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours if you row and 2 hours and 10 minutes if you don't.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of speed on you.
It's like those the team at 100% power, the team at 99% power.
Exactly. That's the nature here. So is there anything you would like to do to prepare for this upcoming interaction?
Let me check my spells.
There's time to do a short rest. There is time to do whatever you'd please.
I will. Let me see.
I could roll a hit die.
I'm already at full health because we did just short rest.
Yes.
I don't think I get anything back on short rest, to be honest.
I haven't.
Yeah, I don't think you do. Wait, can you? No, that's long rest, right? You can swap up
You
the
get meta magic points back on a short.
What's up?
Meta magic.
I don't think.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Actually, I get my channel divinity back on a short rest, so I will go ahead and take a short rest.
Hey, sweet.
I'll take it. I'll take 12.
Yeah, so I'll say once you've been spotted, you'll go ahead and stop.
Yeah, we can go ahead and row generally towards them when we're bored, but
yeah, sorcery parts are a long rest.
Yeah,
I might do.
Unless I was level 20.
Die. I might do a hit die too. I'm gonna do a hit die.
Sure.
Man, weren't
Just
y'all max HP already? I was.
No, I was.
Now I. Wow.
Nice, dude. 10 HPs.
So just kind of kick back and relax and regenerate while we approach our doom.
So if you want to, we can cut to like right before you would be within shouting distance by your estimate.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would like to do at that point?
I
Alibaba.
don't have a whole lot of stuff.
I'm gonna cast Mage Hand
Uh-huh.
to kind of just hold the flag up
Mm.
and wave it around.
Do you need a dungeon
Yeah, I'll
cover?
say you can easily hold it up there. Wave a
Yep.
flag.
And
It,
cover.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a piece of cloth hovering 30 feet above a boat.
Because, I mean, to be fair, that is exactly what it is.
As that is precisely what it is.
It's kind of a rhythmic.
But you do have a visible mage hand as opposed to an invisible one. Is there any particular way you would like it to look?
Yeah, it's gonna do SOS. You know, just kind of over and over.
Well, it's a hand still.
Yes. There's.
Like,
Are you doing that in sign language?
no, it's just moving in a pattern that would, you know, if you could do a time lapse exposure of it, it would spell
Spell.
SOS.
Interesting.
But
I can dig it.
But I
Also
don't-
semaphore,
I
but
mean,
you need two hands for that.
really much as anyone would understand that.
It's more about intentions.
That's all I can think of, though.
Aggressive first. So I'm not gonna like, fire at them or anything like that. I am gonna go ahead and get detect magic up 10 minutes before we feel like we're gonna encounter them, just for funsies.
Yeah, sure. So that will be like well within interaction distance, but I'll say like as the ship's approaching you and you feel like you've got 10 minutes time, you'll go ahead and do it then, presumably.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So
I want to do a cantrip
yeah,
real quick.
Amubis.
I want to do a cantrip.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to just do guidance on myself.
Keep that up.
I'm gonna cast armor. No, I'm not. Just playing.
That was only joshing.
I only have 2 spell slots.
So as this ship, and it's much, much larger than your boat, it's made of some sort of dark wood with kind of gray sails. And from the very top of the mast, you hear, "Living souls! We found living souls! Prepare to board!"
Oh, great.
And
I hope they found it.
and
We're
Uh,
quite dead.
this ship begins to, it turns slightly so it'll pull up alongside you rather than ramming straight into you. And as it kind of pans across, you can see holes for cannons.
Mm.
Seems to have 8 cannons on its broadside. On this, the side that's facing you. Gross, you cast your detect magic, and you not sense anything from the ship.
Entirely fair.
It's too much higher than you to see what is on the on the deck. That's the word. But as it pulls alongside, a rope ladder is dropped from the ship down onto your ship, and you see a man's head pop out. He is a a fairly young man, probably early 20s, and he is of a very ambiguous race. I would say Alibaba, you find him somewhat similar to the Shady Merchant. He has grayish skin that could be described as having blue or greenish tint to it, mildly pronounced canines, mildly pointed ears, dark hair, average humanoid build, and he extends a hand out and says, "Do y'all need picking up?"
Yes. Yes. Sure. We were honestly mostly coming to see you.
Well, that's terrific circumstance, though I don't know how you knew we were here.
A little bird told me.
Fair enough. Come on aboard, there's plenty of room.
I will ascend the rope ladder.
I follow.
Yeah, I follow too.
Well, then we shall. What's up?
Oh, I was gonna ask him. I was climbing up. Will my ship be all right? I spent a whole hour on it.
We're moving over, boys.
Cool.
So I think you can see their name titles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the one who greeted you is Joe Glass here. He'll say, I mean, we've no room for it.
Oh, it'll be all right. It'll probably just collapse after this place crumbles anyway.
You know what? Someone will need it one day, I promise you. Alright. Well, I guess you better meet the captain. Come on with me. And he leads you to the stern of the ship here. Nautical terms. Where you see a robust man of the same ambiguous race as Joe Glass here. Though I guess you don't know his name. But for the sake of tokens. But he has a beard. He's taller in stature and wider. He's got a tri-point cornered captain's hat, and he's at the helm. And he turns with a stern look on his face and strolls up to you, and then immediately busts out in a grin and say, "Aye, welcome aboard."
Well, thank you, sir. Quick question before we move on further in this interaction. I don't know of a delicate way of putting this. Are you were you generated by the path, or are you aware that you're sort of generally on it? I do see that there's more than 3 of you here, and that is a bit concerning.
As you get midway through your concentration, you see the captain kind of wince, and then he shakes his head and he goes, "I'm sorry. Am I what?"
A part of real, like a part of. Are you real is not the right word. A part of the path, or are you walking it?
I think what he's trying to say is, where are you from, friend?
As Kuros talks, he grits his teeth, looks down and kind of rubs his forehead, and looks in pain and goes, "Yeah. Where are we from? We're from all over, I guess. I mean, you can't find 2 of us who are from the same spot. I myself am from a nowhere fishing town, but I've made my way in life. So, I see y'all were lost at sea. Does that mean you're sailing folk?"
No, just travelers trying to make our way towards the pyramid. And I kind of gesture that direction.
Don't know why you'd want to go there. But fair enough, to each his own. I mean-
every fisherman knows that's the best place for fish.
Listen to him. Fish. You got a sense of humor.
Aha. Yes.
Well, all right then. Where are you folks off to on the high seas? I whisper to my compatriots. I feel like we should play along. I think they're a part of the path.
Sounds good. Good idea. Maybe we
Well.
should talk like pirates. I don't know.
You guys have been trying to get me to do that all day.
You're the only one who has it.
That's it. The door will appear when I finally relent and talk like a pirate.
Don't tempt me. He kind of leans in a little closer and he even says, "Well, I'm gonna level with you. We fly a black flag aboard this ship."
Yes, I've noticed. It's a lovely color. Very very deep. You keep it quite
Black is
clean.
my soul.
Vile. I whisper to Alibaba.
I mean we're pirates, lad.
Oh dear. Cool.
Privateers.
Must be
Yeah.
must be rather
And
exciting.
to be honest, I'd escort you to somewhere to your liking, but we're in hot pursuit.
Being pursued or pursuing?
Nah, pursuing. There be a ship from the Navy, fat with treasure, likely. And we've been pursuing her 4 long days now.
Well, is there any way we could assist in exchange for being brought to a friendly shore at the end of your mission?
No offense, lad, but I don't reckon you got a choice. You're on my ship now.
Oh, that's fair, but I still figured I'd offer. It's only polite.
I'm jesting with you. Of course, we reward hard work on board my vessel. You know, we don't. Maybe some of our work is troublesome, but we don't look for trouble, and we certainly take care of our own. Ain't that right, crew?
Aye, Captain.
One of the crewmates says, "You take care of yourself, Captain." Oi, who said that? Shut up. They're just kidding. Come on, I'll introduce you to some of the crew. You met my boy Joe Glass here.
A fine lad he is, sir.
Fine lad, my ass. The worst lookout on the 7 seas, but he's less harm up there than he is on deck.
He did spot us.
When we was right on top of ye, a decent spotter would have seen you back when you were still on shore. Joe Glass says, "All right. I hold my own. He's exaggerating."
Well, I think you're doing great, Joe.
So can I shoot one of these cannons?
Well, there'll be plenty of time for shooting cannons when we catch our prey, I'll tell you what. And then, over here is my quartermistress, Black Susan. Call her that because she's a black widow. Killed her husband. Man deserved it, though.
Good for you, Susan.
Oh, he didn't deserve it, but, you know, a girl's got to do what she has to do.
I'm getting conflicting reports here.
Abubis leans over to Alibaba. I get a bad feeling about Black Susan.
Jay, Susie, you just do nothing for your reputation over here. I just talked you up. I don't want them getting the wrong idea. I killed my husband. Cross me and see what I might do.
I get it now. Yes, it was a threat. Got it.
And Captain Abel leans in and says, "It weren't just the one either." Yeah, the rest of the crew, yeah, they're pretty nondescript, as evidenced by
Their tags.
how nondescript they are, and that's mechanically true too. While Joe Glass, Captain Abel, and Black Susan everyone on board is this ambiguous race, but they are all unique in characteristics. Black Susan has fiery red hair and very elaborate clothing. Captain Abel's robust. Joe Glass is young and fresh-faced. The crew they kind of look samey. Just real background characters in life. They do technically have different clothes and different faces, but nothing to make them stand out.
These people look just like the merchant from back through the last door.
I have a theory about that, maybe, but I don't feel comfortable sharing it right now. It seems to cause the captain pain.
Okay, let's just play along. I think maybe we go.
Joe Glass is gonna just scrabble back up the crow's nest.
Let's go kill the Navy people. And he kind of just, starts blending in.
That's the spirit.
Yes, shiver me timbers and such.
What would you have us do, Captain, on board? Are there any gaps in your crew?
As for ship running, we're doing fine and dandy, but our board and crew leaves a lot to be desired. If you're handy in a fight, that's plenty good enough for me.
Oh yes, plenty handy. That's what we do.
All right, onward then, Susie, and she'll step up to the railing here and yell, "All right, you lily livers, on your feet, get this ship moving, or I'll marry every one of you." And at this, they all start scrabbling and hoisting sails and doing things sailors do in a saily kind of way.
Another threat. I got it.
Anubis agitatively tries to fit in, and I don't want to marry Susan, and he's like running around trying to figure out what to do.
Yes, if you insist upon doing things, the crew will give you tasks, but the captain has left that with you.
I'm going to, in general, lays about. I'm gonna make some notes, and whenever I can get a moment to talk to my compatriots, I'm gonna share my theory.
Sure. You gather those up below deck if you want to ask about that. If you want to just find a spot, it's up to you.
Is it all right if I go below deck and hang out there?
Oh, we ride lean, so there's nothing worth taking down there. But I mean, help yourself. You'll get twice the seasick, though.
As you've said, Captain, there's not much choice on your ship. I don't think I've got anywhere to take it to.
That's a right solid point.
I don't get seasick very much. I'm more used to the air, which is, if anything, more nauseating.
That's a fine notion. The air, what the final frontier, even. How I would love to sail her.
Yes, well, I'm sure there's some way of causing a ship to fly, and you might find it if you go around the world enough times.
Why?
Arr.
You've broadened my horizons.
Glad to be of service. So yeah, I'm gonna go below deck.
Black
And
Susan will shout after you. Touch my nethers and I'll have yours.
What?
what in the name of this? When I get the chance to talk to my companions, I am going to mention that there are 3 of them that are real people seeming, not just generic people. So my theory is it's possible that the people we meet along the path have been subsumed by it at some point after adventuring on it for a while. I think that these people might be those that have given up, possibly, and there's some sort of transformative aspect that happens, or it could just be that the path generates them, and we're in a sort of a pre-written play, and we just have to play our roles, and then when we're done with the story, we get to leave this particular place. Those are my 2 running theories. I am, the number 3 is important here, so I can't imagine that it's a coincidence.
Losing grip on reality. Maybe these are the same individuals that have their backs turned on the smiling man's wall.
Yes, that was another thing I was thinking, but I believe that those people might have been saved from this fate by the smiling man.
Arr.
He seems to have a bit more ability to bring out their true selves. So I'm not going to mention it to the captain. I'm not entirely. I don't think I can break him out of it, and it seems like it upsets him or the path or whatever sense of continuity this place has. So yes, just keep playing along, and I'm sure we'll get through this.
While you guys are below deck, you suddenly hear Joe Glass shout out, "Ship ahoy! Ship ahoy!"
Jump up topside. Give it a check out.
As you jump topside, you can see the whole crew's kind of staring out over the water. And do a perception check.
Will do. Bad.
Yeah, you can't see anything yet, but you gather that Joe Glass, being a spotter and being in the crow's nest, might have a better vantage point than you do.
Indeed.
Alibaba also sees nothing. Come on, Anubis, deliver!
If I can get my character sheet to work.
I consider that part of your character. If you mechanically can't get this to work, then you can in game can't see.
Ah,
Hey,
me hearties, yo ho!
So Anubis, with your now strangely enhanced vision, you no longer see sun glare, so you are able to see out over the water a ship, but its mast is barren of sail, and it's surrounded by rocks. It appears to be a derelict ship. And
Let's
you
get on that ship.
hear Captain Abel say, "'Tis not our quarry, but still interesting nonetheless." What
Always
think ye, visitors?
Always a chance for treasure.
Always a chance for treasure. It may delay our pursuit, but
We'll
two
try to be
ships,
fast.
twice the treasure, potentially.
Yes, I say we at least give it a once over. Try to be fast.
I yield to your superior judgment.
Look over to check it out.
Okay.
What was that?
Newt, the little bird, can go check it out. Maybe.
Yeah, it's much more than 60 feet. It's in the like if you were 60 feet away, the ship would practically be there already, so it would be irrelevant. I think your bird could actually be up to a mile away from you, right? You can just only warg into it 60 feet or something, or 120 or something.
You can only control its movements within 100 feet, but you can see through its eyes at any point, I think. Yeah.
And could send
While
it
you're
potentially
familiar
infinitely on.
while you're familiar is within 100 feet of you, you can communicate with it telepathically. Additionally, as an action, you can see through your familiar's eyes and hear what it hears. So it's a classic DM's choice how you rule it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say that a large seafaring vessel with sails can go approximately as fast, if not faster, than a small sparrow bird. So you could send it out ahead, but it would not necessarily be relevant. Now, if once you get to the ship, you want to send it to scout prior to like boarding the ship or whatever, that could certainly happen. But yeah, the captain seems inclined to yield to y'all's judgment on this one.
Yeah. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
I don't see the path.
It's not often you run into a derelict ship in the middle of the ocean. Let's go see about what could be a part of the experience of this path.
Hey, the captain says, "Good enough for me." And he slaps the steering wheel, whatever it's called. Why can't I remember the words for these things? And you turn sharply towards this derelict vessel. Black Susan shouts, "All right, crew, all speed. We haven't got time to waste. Get your ears in gear or I'll have yours."
It's a wheel, correct? Is that what it is?
Just
Ship
a wheel?
Wheel of a ship? Yep, ship wheel. Steering wheel.
Yeah, so you head toward this derelict vessel. As you approach, you can see it's a very rocky area. And it's easy to see how a ship could get stuck here. Your large vessel, it arrives there around nighttime, which, in ship turns, this is not bad. Voyages often take days, so it's not like a problematic. But the at least the in-path sun has set, and you have lanterns on the ship, so you can see things on board, but not necessarily out to the ship. But you're going to have to take boarding vessels if you want to go approach it. And the captain approaches you and says, "What say ye? Want to prove your worth? Scout it out for us."
Sounds wonderful. I'm itching to find out what's in there. See what various treasures they've left. How about companions?
I'll be joining the party too to prove me worth, Captain. And I jump on.
Are you from my fishing village? Sound so familiar.
The regional accent is
Just
dead
just
on.
like me, ma.
All right, Avast.
A
Let's get
pirate
going.
never tells. You should know that.
So, do any of you have a light source? You can certainly have a lantern on your boat, but that won't necessarily light up the ship you're going to.
I can
I
cast
got fire that I can generate.
hand.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Prestidigitation.
Y'all both speak. It can light a fire. I don't think it can make a fire per se.
I've got light
I-
invocation.
Oh,
You got the light,
perfect.
the light cantrip.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, that'll work great.
Okay. I touch.
What are you gonna cast it on?
The bow, if the front of the ship, or maybe the mast of it. We're on the little dinghy. Is that what we're on?
Yeah,
I think we'll probably need it when we go inside, but we can always transfer it onto like your weapon or something like
yeah.
that.
Well, he'll probably need it right away. He doesn't have dark vision.
That's fair.
I can do
But
it
yeah,
on.
it's gonna it probably couldn't get the whole dinghy, but like any single object you could cast it on. So it could be something you're carrying. It could be. I mean, you could even cast it on the like lantern that's already on the ship, just to brighten it up a bit.
All right, that's what I do. And then I'll take
Okay.
it with me when we go.
Sure. Yeah. So the lantern, which was kind of like a small flame initially, now is a little bit closer to a spotlight. Like it has a bit more range to it, a bit more like LED quality. So the captain offers none of his crew to y'all, so it's just you on your own if you care to go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. Well, you float your way over towards this derelict vessel, and I
Whatever.
will
Our boat.
floats. Move us over to a fresh map.
Ooh.
We've been moving
The
on
der-
some maps.
The derelict vessel map. Oh, I came prepared, boys.
This is a cool
Are they
ship.
supposed to look that much like hands?
Oh no, I did not notice that.
Yeah. Okay.
They are regular rocks.
Regular rock.
TBH, I pulled this one up during session.
Nice. That's what
Um,
we call a pro gamer move.
That comes in handy.
yeah, you might want. Yeah, you're probably. I mean, if you want to initially start where you're still on the dinghy, right next to the ship, that's fine by me. And then you can move onto the ship at your leisure. So right now, I'll say it is. You can see the basic shape, but it is not illuminated.
Nothing to it but to do it. Do you have any preparatory things you'd like to accomplish before we walk on board this reasonably haunted ship? Oh yes, let's have. I'm gonna pull out like a small key or something from my pouch and give it to Amubus to light for Newt, so that he
Nice.
can carry it in his claws and have a little light source.
Cool.
And Alibaba,
Yeah, I'll say.
Got a million knickknacks.
I'll say like it's like a little, and it might as well be. We'll just make this a permanent fixture to Newt. It's like a nut for a screw, and it's on his little foot.
Yep. And then we can just.
What were you saying, Alibaba? Sorry.
that telepathically, I would just tell Newt to fly up and kind of fly around on the deck.
Yeah. Yeah. So
he can
now
see.
that he's got this light on him, which Is the range on that 20 feet and then another 20 feet of dim or something? 20 bright, 20 dim, something like that?
For the light cantrip, isn't it 30-60? Let me see.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's like a beacon.
Oh, no, you're right. 20-40.
2020.
Yep.
That's still enough to cover the whole ship. So he can just fly down the sort of the center line of the ship. Back and forth kind of gives you a sweep of light as he goes up and down. And it looks like the whole deck of the ship is clear.
DM, do we want to just looking at the time, wondering kind of how you want to set this up as far as closure on a good hook? I just wanted to put that on your radar.
Yeah, we can keep going for a little bit, but I'll keep in mind that we've got wrapping up on the mind.
Got it.
All aboard who's going aboard? Seems clear to me.
Yeah, sorry, I could have had y'all roll for that. I did not.
Yeah. I mean,
what you gonna do?
The bird's passive perception, I'm sure, is good enough. All right. So I think to be perfectly honest, I feel like the path put this here for a reason. I'm not going to get all religious about the path, but I do think that there's probably some reason why this is here. Some reason. The path doesn't like to divert people for no reason, so I imagine there's something here. So let's try to find that thing, and then grab it and take it back to the ship.
Do you want me to try the acid thing again?
I would prefer, in fact, if you did the opposite of that and did not do that.
All right. Okay.
Again, structural integrity. If we see a locked door or something, let's keep that in our back pockets.
Yeah, if you want to examine the ship or look for anything specific, now would
I'm gonna
be
take a little
time.
peek around, see if I can find the captain's quarters. That is what I'm looking for.
I'm looking to see how to get below deck.
Yeah, so there are stairwells leading below deck, both at the bow and the stern, port and starboard side on both of them. So there's essentially 4 entrances to below deck, and then there is a captain's quarters at the stern of the ship, as is typical, kind of like under where the wheel and all that is.
I think I'd like to check out the captain's quarters first, and then we can head below deck.
Very well.
Sound good?
Lead the way.
Probably best not to split up or anything. Again, ghosts.
Yeah, I'm not. Alibaba's not going to split up from the group.
So yeah, gonna check out the captain's quarters.
Yeah, so that's like right here, and as you approach it, yeah, go ahead and do an investigation check.
Oh, we'll do.
See if we can't roll better today. Hooray! So this door is locked.
Entirely fair.
And it seems like a keyhole. There's no windows or anything into the captain's quarters area.
I do have a set of thieves' tools that I could attempt to pick the lock with. Or we could just sort of bust it down because it's an old door.
I can do the acid.
Perhaps before we melt the lock, maybe I can just have an attempt at it, and then if it doesn't work, melt it.
Yeah, if you're proficient, do like dexterity check with proficiency, I believe is the. Otherwise, just a straight dexterity.
I am indeed. So roll 1d20 plus 3. Preow, 18.
All right, like you approach this with confidence. You have kind of like an Inspector Gadget type thing that comes out of your finger. You know, a pronged thingy like in all the shows, and
You know this.
and you find yourself supernaturally repelled. You cannot
Oh.
even insert yourself into the lock.
Interesting. I'm prevented from infection.
By what force, you do not know.
This is it appears to be magical of some kind. I'm not certain acid is the best idea. I think it might sort of fling back at us.
Mm.
Perhaps.
I have an idea.
Yes.
I would like to spend the 10 minutes here to see if I can identify this lock.
All right. I think we've probably got time. Gonna poke my head below deck to make sure there's not like a magical key or something that would just sort of.
That's a good point.
We may want to stick together for that excursion.
All right, I'll just follow you down there and just.
Yes. If worse comes to worse, we can spend the 10 minutes, but there's still other bits of the ship to explore. Who knows? Mind.
So you're gonna head down.
Down.
In what manner shall you head down?
Probably use the stairs that are closest to us, which seems to be the stern starboard stairs. Stern starboard stairs.
All right.
Down the stern starboard stairs.
As you begin to descend, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Everybody, or
23.
Kroos is in the lead,
Fantastic.
so it's on him right now. All right. Well, you can see right at the base of the stairs is a skeletal face of a just standing there in pirate's garb, a skeleton. It does seem to be standing of its own accord, though. And go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
Ghost pirates?
Ghosts?
Hold on. Do I think I might have disadvantage on stealth?
I don't know.
I believe I do since I'm wearing heavy armor and I don't think I have anything to mitigate that. I will double check, but I'll roll at a disadvantage anyway, and the lower one is first, so does not matter. 10.
So, as you step down the stairs, your metal boot doth clink upon the step, and you see the bony face of this skeletal pirate snap up and face your direction. And it begins to approach you.
Oh, you're approaching me.
I think that's a fine place to end if y'all want.
Yep. Skeleton attack.
Because if we do a combat,
we will be here for another 2
do we roll initiative beforehand or we'll roll initiative at the start of next episode. Let's do that.
That sounds good.
That way we won't forget.
Put ourselves where we are.
Yeah, I'll just.
spooky.
Pirates.
Very spooky skeletons.
Yeah, it's hard to get one.
There's one of them there.
That's session
All right,
7. Woot woot woot! Thank you, PS Zombie. That was fun.
Thank you, guys.
So just a couple of quick announcements before we log off for the night. We're started our Sunday night series where we're doing a different game. The Putu crew does a different game every Sunday night. Join us for that this Sunday. Also, every Monday night at 8 o'clock Central, we're having another bit of Dungeons and Dragons, the Unbeaten Path campaign. I'll be putting this tonight's session on YouTube, so you feel free to catch this on YouTube or Twitch later. And a reminder to hit that follow button, hit up that subscribe, hit up that chat. We'd love to hear from you. I think that's it. So everybody, make sure to stay healthy out there and stay happy. And we wish you all a good night. Thanks for listening.
Bye.